Welcome to your daily writing habit, episode number 159. If you're writing a book or thinking about it, or maybe you've started writing your book, but you're having some trouble finishing it, you are in the right place. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh, also known as Christine Inc., I-N-K, as in christine-inc.com. Every day, I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 18 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and then they can actually turn someone who doesn't really consider themselves a writer into one. Those three things are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. Here's today's inspirational quote. A bad review may spoil your breakfast, but you shouldn't allow it to spoil your lunch. Kingsley Amis. It's true. Let it go. Shake it off. It's just one review. It's okay. So what we're talking about this week is my new author intake interview. This is where I get to listen. I ask a bunch of questions and I get to listen to my future author's story of why they've decided to write a book, which is always very exciting. I love hearing people's stories of how they've come to this idea of writing a book. They never fail to fascinate me and sometimes entertain me. I love the stories. And also what my new authors, what they hope will come out of writing the book and publishing the book. And there are many different things to consider, questions to answer before you start writing. They'll help you get clear on your why, these questions. They'll help you figure out a sensible writing plan, figure out whether you should, traditionally publish or self-publish. So these are all great questions to just help you figure out a lot of stuff before you even put pen to paper. And it'll just make the book writing process go more smoothly. So I'm delving deep into my 7 questions this week. And for those of you who have maybe seen these 7 questions, around the internet where I write stuff, tune in anyway this week because I'm adding context to each one of them that I did not add in the written versions of this. So we are up to questions 3 and 4 today. Question 3, when writing your book, how DIY, do it yourself, are you willing to be? And here is why that's important to know is before you start writing your book, really look at your strengths and weaknesses and figure out where you might need help. This is just based on, you probably know how you operate in terms of working independently on a quote unquote passion project. Maybe, when you built your website before, maybe you've done something else creative or any kind of project where maybe you're not feeling the most confident. New uncharted territory for you. Where might you need help? And examples of where that might be in the book writing process. Maybe you need accountability. Maybe you need, some kind of accountability coach. Maybe you need editing help either throughout or during the writing of the book or at the end. There's 2 different types of editing, actually. If you have a developmental editor, that's someone who would be your editor as you're writing your book to give you guidance and, kind of help you along and fix any problems along the way. Or sometimes people would hire what's called a line editor at the end of the book writing process. And that's when your manuscript is done and it is what it is. And they're going to do their best to reshape it and, rework it or, whatever needs to be done to it. So those are, just 2 examples of types of editors that you might need. You'll certainly need one at the end, but some people employ a developmental editor along the way. You might need feedback along the way, just kind of more like a beta reader. That's another kind of thing that people use as a position people use when writing books. They give their chapters to beta readers and there you can find them all over the internet. And that's more, your fellow authors giving you opinion. That's not really like a professional coach or editor or anything like that. That's, your fellow authors who are acting as kind of a sounding board for your work. You might need actual writing help, to teach you the ins and outs of writing, those writing fundamentals I talked about at the top of the broadcast today. Or you might just need, group support. So nothing specific, nothing one-on-one. You might need the support of a group of other authors who are writing their books. And if you need any kind of help at all, or if you need suggestions for types of help that I haven't listed here, feel free to email me at Christine, Christine, at Christine dash, that's like a hyphen, Inc., INK.com, and I would be happy to help you out. So that's the first question today from my author intake interview. How DIY, how do it yourself are you willing to be? Where do you need help? Next question. Is your normal schedule, so just think of your normal daily schedule, and I know the word normal is hilarious when it comes to our daily schedules, but is it more conducive to short, medium, or long writing blocks? So look at your schedule and then just also look at your creative energy and how that flows. You work better in smaller increments. kind of, short bursts of maybe, half hour long writing sessions? Or are you more of, I think like Stephen King does, several hours at a time? It's just an example I thought of off the top of my head. So it's important to know how you work best. And also, so look at your creative energy, but also look at your schedule, because if you're sitting there looking at your schedule and you are just kind of a hyper scheduled person and you're trying to find this miraculous 4-hour block of writing time, and you start moving things around and maybe you're in denial about it, and okay, if I don't go to this, if I don't go to that, and don't do this kids thing or whatever, and you put this 4-hour block of quote unquote writing time on your calendar, but there's just no way that it's going to work, because realistically the things that you moved out of the way really shouldn't have been moved out of the way. Be realistic when looking at your schedule and say, what can be moved, what can be eliminated, but what just really isn't going anywhere. So in light of that, maybe I just need to put little 30-minute writing blocks in, various places scattered throughout. So be very realistic when you look at your schedule so that you can set yourself up for success and not failure from day one. So those are today's questions from my author intake interview. Tune in tomorrow for the next set or for the next question. And in the meantime, I'd love it if you would drop by my Inc. Authors group on Facebook for motivation, accountability, book writing and publishing resources, and more. And wherever you're listening to Your Daily Writing Habit, I would also love it if you would consider leaving a review, whether on Amazon or iTunes or Google Play or wherever. Thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I'm helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. And if you know someone else who wants to write a book, I would love it if you would tell them about Your Daily Writing Habit. Thank you. And until tomorrow, happy writing.